So as I said when I started, there wasn't going to be a roadmap on how this gets done, but he ended it with the right terminology. It necessitates open discussion. So just to reiterate, you have two coasts with emerging demand, $1 billion on the right, $700 million on the left. Pad 2 is the epicenter of production, and now the game's on. How do you move these gallons or barrels into both corridors efficiently, economically, and ratably? That's what we need to set out to do. So just because we started late and we're running late, and if you guys all enroll, I guess, online, there's an Amazon gift certificate I have to announce the winner on, so if you're in the room, stick on. But I'd like to open it up for any questions right now specific to the three panelists. Mike.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ooh, sorry. One of the things that we struggle with New England in our conversations is, can we move the required amount of biodiesel? Paul's quoting the number 700 million gallons to the Northeast to do that. Chris, in your presentation, I got the sense that it is doable. I mean, some of the costs may be negligible as opposed to what we can currently do as far as moving product up by barge. But as far as the ability to move 700 million gallons of biodiesel to the East Coast, in your opinions collectively, is it doable?
I can take that one on. In my personal experience, it's definitely doable. As I kind of mentioned with those 5 critical resources, really, from my perspective, anything can be done with the proper planning. And I guess that was the message I was trying to deliver, which is anywhere, if we can have 6 to 18 to 36 months of lead time to really understand that the market's going to be growing, we can add new track, new capacity if the demand is there and the economic justification is there. We saw it on the crude oil side, we saw it on the ethanol side, 2 industries that really grew at that, the ethanol had kind of a mandated, and so we were pretty confident that that volume would come. And so we invested, I don't remember the number, but millions and millions of dollars in infrastructure throughout the Midwest to be able to handle the ethanol boom. And I don't see any reason why it couldn't handle on the biodiesel side too.
Any other questions? Okay. Just final note. Oh, yes.
I just wanted to know how the coupling of trucking and rail system, like how that can be feasible. Because as I think about it, it seems like a catch-22 where could you transport by rail before you could actually transport by truck to the Northeast? And I was wondering if there were any legal barriers to that.
There are no legal barriers. I mean, it's a routine aspect of, planes, trains, and automobiles to get product from one point to another. And I think the biggest thing whenever you're bringing your product, and I'm speaking from the standpoint of those that are either producing or owning the product, when you're shipping your product is whenever you bring it into sort of commingled storage to keep account of what the product is, did that get commingled with product of a different nature, either different type of biodiesel, type of hydrocarbon, type of diesel fuel. And so long as you're doing that, there really is nothing from a legal standpoint that should be an impediment.
Anyone else? Sure, Tim. Say whatever you like.
I think it's important to note on Michael's presentation with Michael's facility in central Massachusetts that as an East Coast producer, historically we've brought massive amounts of biodiesel through Michael's facility, and I just want the room to know that we've been able to, us and other producers have been able to satisfy a fairly substantial amount of heating oil demand out of just that facility without, I want to say almost without really even trying. I mean, this is before the subject of either not enough demand or not enough rail infrastructure was possible. We're going back 3 to 5 years now where, I don't think a lot of people know, a lot of biodiesel has come through central Massachusetts to help fill the demand of some sizable heating oil marketers. So as a group, collectively as a group, I think if we just look at those examples and then get together as an industry using facilities like yours, Michael, I think that we all need to be aware that this is possible.
Right. So our options are truck, rail, come into New York Harbor, split it off in barges and vet it around. And the pipelines has been a work in progress for the National Biodiesel Board, my God, at least 7 to 8, maybe 9 years. So we're not on the pipe. We can't rely on that right this second, especially aviation type pipelines. I think the Jones Act, the Unreasonable Act, is going to limit our ability to navigate ships into position. So I think we're reliant upon, and that's why I wait at the panel with railroad people that move at far distances, and then people that take the handoff, like the transloader, and what their responsibilities are to get it onto a truck, into a terminal, into a customer for consumption. This is major league. I mean, this is something, if we don't generate a solution for this, the domestic biodiesel industry, unless they start building plants on the East Coast and double down on the West Coast, PADS 2 are going to have to think this out long and hard, but the thinking has to be like immediate now because we're growing. We've built the product, it's been in the market, but we haven't really focused on how to deploy efficient, reliable distribution of this great product called biodiesel. So if there's anyone in the room that has any ideas, I'm all ears. I represent the National Biodiesel Board. I like opinions, push back, whatever it is, but we'll be working on that throughout our contract season this year. This single issue alone is a very substantial issue. So if there's no more questions, this was handed off to me. A winner has been randomly selected from those who checked into the session via the Biodiesel Connect website to receive a $50 Amazon gift certificate. And it was Andrew Davidson, Cape Cod Biofuels. But because you're going to turn it back in out of the goodness of your heart, we're going to go to the next guy. I'm only kidding. Here you go. Thank you very much for your attendance.